Thanks, Darwin. That was a very eloquent introduction to this. And you know, when I listen to you speak and I look at my own notes, I'm starting to wonder if maybe twins separated at birth. I think that's a possibility. I have a lot of thank yous and welcome remarks on behalf of Cali PA. This is my responsibility to provide. I'm not going to go through those all again because Darwin has just done a really eloquent job, and actually better than I was going to do with that. So I would just like to say I will thank all of you for the various roles that you have in making this a success, and leave it at that. We had an exceptional day yesterday. For those of you who are here, this conference is already off to a great start. There's been a tremendous amount of learning and dialogue going on. And I hope the rest of the conference offers everyone here an opportunity to downshift a little bit, give yourself a breather from your usual routine, and develop your own new expertise and perspectives for the road ahead. And I say that with the knowledge that all of us are still responsible for keeping things on track back on the home front. Our theme of one team, one goal isn't at all just a theme. It's really the heart of our mission for environmental protection. But what is really our one goal? How can we boil that down to the heart of it? For me, our one goal is simply to protect public health by protecting the environment and doing it in the most efficient and effective way possible. And I encourage you to think about, from your perspective, what does that one goal mean to you? Maybe you have a slightly different spin on it. But how can you use that one goal to better contribute to achieving that in your uniquely important professional roles? I'm really here this morning to share some of Cali PA's, some of the key accomplishments from Cali PA's perspective over the past year, and give you a little preview of some of the things that are coming up. So let me get into that. Of course, we conducted another 27 CUPA performance evaluations in 2018, and we're using the fully remote process that was developed several years ago and instituted for evaluations. And I can tell you from working and seeing my staff at work that planning, orchestrating, and executing that number of evaluations and still keeping up with the day-to-day requirements of updating regulatory and program changes is no small task. And I think overall the 20 or so program evaluators and their supervisors are doing a really, really good job of that and continue to do so in the coming year. Our CERS IT team incorporated 15 mandatory regulatory enhancements to CERS that have been on the docket for some time. You may know those as CERS 3 enhancements. And those are related chiefly to recent changes in both underground and above-ground tank regulations. So those enhancements, plus the associated regulatory changes that we have to also do as a companion to changing CERS, will be launched very shortly. I think they're already kind of in a beta mode, and they're going to be fully up and running very shortly. And that is right on the schedule that we set a year ago to get that accomplished. We completed and have embarked on the Unified Program's 2018 to 2022 Joint Strategic Plan, which gives state and your CUPA Forum leadership a 5-year roadmap for our priority goals and objectives. I think it's worth mentioning these goals as they form the core of our workload for the immediate future. So first, we're revising the CUPA evaluation process to improve communication and understanding between evaluators and CUPA staff, and to focus on the most important and proactive opportunities to improve CUPA performance. We expect to deploy these changes this summer. We're launching a formal business assessment and re-engineering of CERS that we refer to as CERS Next Gen. This process is going to take several years, but we believe it's needed to produce the enhancements and the functionality of a modern data system that we all want and can can make great use of it. Our Cali PAIT team is hiring a consultant this week to help us get started on that goal. We're continuing to build and promote the Regulatory Performance Initiative, which I hope you've heard about. If you haven't, you'll probably hear more about it in the next few days. We'll give CUPAs and businesses that are in good standing some flexibility in their inspection programs so we can all focus compliance resources on risky and non-compliant businesses. And this effort is going to require statutory as well as regulatory changes and a lot of work on guidance and how we do things both at the state and the local level. And Darwin touched on the issue of fires and disasters, which has become a way too big a problem in California, but there doesn't seem to be much that we have that we can do about it immediately. Our new governor is undertaking some initiatives in forestry management practices. We're looking at how to better manage urban wildland interfaces and things like that. But the disasters we've seen in the last few years have been overwhelming, as you know. I don't know how many total CUPA volunteers put their non-emergency careers on hold so that they could go volunteer and assist with the various fires this year and last year. I know it's many. Some of you stood up earlier. For our part at Cal EPA, we've had 40 such volunteers from agency and from our various boards, departments, and offices. And that's unprecedented, and it's very gratifying to our leadership that for the first time we've actually had that many people deployed on 3 to 6 week recovery shifts to help fellow Californians literally dig out of the ruins of the devastation of their communities. These fires and their aftermath yet again give us a sobering appreciation for the challenges CUPAs face when disaster strikes. While the UPI program is not designed or funded to directly support emergency operations, we can't ignore the impact they have on program continuity, the day in and day out responsibilities that you all have. So one goal of our strategic plan is to explore how CUPAs, state agencies, US EPA, and FEMA can work together in assessing and mitigating losses from damaged facilities and essential services. As many of you know, Jason Baitzer has joined my Cal EPA team, and this is going to be his primary assignment going forward. I can't think of anyone I'd rather have leading that mission. Last but certainly not least, we have goals and objectives for continuous improvement of training, communication, and collaboration as embodied in this conference. I doubt there's been a time when these were not common goals of the CUPA Forum at Cal EPA. I'm very enthusiastic about some of the training projects that are underway that I just learned about yesterday. Looking forward to hearing a lot more about that. And you'll all hear a lot more about these various goals and initiatives in the sessions and meetings this week. I'm sure you can appreciate we have a lot of work to do ahead of us. We always do, and we always will. As we make use of our time together this week, let's keep in mind we are truly one team with one common goal: protect California's precious environment and public health through commitment to innovative and effective governance. I encourage each of you this week and in this coming year to seek out the most compelling opportunities to improve the unified program in your local CUPA or at the state level, and share those opportunities through the many advisory groups and committees that we have in place, so we can do our collective best to capture them in our plans and objectives going forward. I would sincerely welcome that. Thank you. This is the point at which I would very much like to introduce our new Secretary for Environmental Protection, Jared Blumenfeld. However, Jared hit the ground running and is extremely busy with legal and legislative matters on behalf of the governor. Couldn't be here for this meeting. Jared, you may know, has been to the CUPA conference before in his capacity as EPA Region 9 Administrator. And I'm going to read his bio here in a second. You'll understand his background and why he gets what we're doing here, and why I think he's going to be a really good secretary to support everything that we're doing. And we'll have a short message from Jared, and then I'll present some awards on his behalf as well. Secretary Blumenfeld holds law degrees from both the University of London and UC Berkeley. He began his career in the 1990s working for environmental groups, including NRDC and the International Fund for Animal Welfare. He began local government service in 2001 and worked as director of the Treasure Island Redevelopment Agency and the San Francisco Department of the Environment. He also served as general manager of the City of San Francisco Parks and Recreation Department. In 2009, he was appointed by President Obama as Regional Administrator for EPA Region 9, where he presided over a broad spectrum of environmental protection and remediation programs across the western states. He left EPA a bit ahead of his colleagues in 2016. He hiked the full length of the Pacific Crest Trail. Quite an accomplishment. Has anybody done that? I can't even imagine 2,600 miles. And since then, he's founded the strategic planning firm Advising Impact and has produced his own weekly podcast called Podshift Earth. He was one of Governor Newsom's very first cabinet member appointees this past January. So now I'm going to ask AB to roll the video.